Good afternoon, Aptos Tigers. I'm here to do Aloud in the library today. You gotta love your librarian because now we get a chance to read to you online instead of seeing you close up and personal, which we really miss. But we get to do some really fun things too, which we hope you like. Well, this is my first take on Aloud in the library. Marcy usually comes on Fridays and reads to us, but since she can't do that right now, I'll be doing it, and hopefully we'll have some guest readers as well. The first story comes out of a book called Out to Get You, written by Josh Allen, illustrations by Sarah J. Coleman. There are 13 tales of weirdness and woes. The book is also published by Holiday House, so that you can know this is what the inside looks like. And we are going to start off with the first story called Vanishers. Hope you like it. They were best friends, named Jacob and Jacob, and they lived next door to each other. Over the years, they'd built snow forts together and leaped off backyard sheds together. And one summer, they'd even broken their left wrists together in a freak trampoline accident. At the end of 5th grade, they'd developed crushes on the same girl together, Bethany Miller, a black-haired beauty who could pitch a baseball so fast not even the 8th grade boys could hit it. Neither of the boys did a thing about his crush, though, because neither was willing to risk losing their friendship, not even for Bethany Miller. Jacob was with a C, Jacob with a K. That's what people called them. Since they even looked alike, each had the same shaggy haircut, the same lanky walk, the same light freckles. If you wanted one of them, you just called out, "Hey, Jacob with a K," and you waited to see which boy looked up. "You need more friends," their parents sometimes told them. "This is getting weird." But why, Jacob thought, should he make more friends when he had Jacob with a K? And why, Jacob thought, should he make more friends with Jacob around, Jacob with a C? One late October afternoon, when the last bell had rung and another day of 6th grade was finally over, Jacob and Jacob met by the large maple tree to begin the walk home. They set out slowly, ambling along the clouds, whirled by a light wind, and a light wind blew. "Ball to Bob?" Jacob asked. The boys had their own language. They decided they needed one when a note they'd been passing in social studies last year had been confiscated and read aloud. "Balla to Bob?" meant, "How are you?" "Blappo," Jacob replied. "Good. Except I have to write a story for Miss Jenkins' class tonight. A whole story with characters and a plot and everything." The wind picked up, and they zipped their jackets against the chill. "You hate writing," Jacob said. "If you want, I'll help you." "Skolatoth." "Awesome." At the edge of the schoolyard, they pressed the button to cross Westover Street, and a streak of lightning flashed in the distance. A storm was coming. "Well," Jacob said, "what does your story have to be about?" "It could be about anything, but it has to be at least 3 full pages." "You could make it a creepy story." "A creepy story? You mean like with a monster?" "Chillatarb," Jacob said. "Totally." As he said this, the clouds thickened and swirled, and the afternoon's colors faded. Even the boys' faces paled in the changing light, taking on the faint yellow tint of old newspapers. "That could work," Jacob nodded. "That could be cool." Cars waited as the boys crossed the street and stepped onto a leaf-covered sidewalk. Dried leaves crunched under their feet. "I watched a TV show last night about zombies. I could write about zombies." Jacob let out a little puff of air. "No way," he said. "Anything but zombies. They used to be creepy, like a long time ago, but they're like all over the place now. There are zombie movies, zombie video games. There's even a zombie emoji. Jacob pulled out his phone, swiped a few times, and showed Jacob the green-gray zombie face on the screen. Last week, my mom bought some Halloween cereal, and it had zombie head marshmallows in it. Yeah, Jacob agreed. I guess you're right. You should make up a new kind of monster, Jacob said. In the distance, lightning flashed, and the boys stopped to count for the thunder. After 3 seconds, it rumbled. A new kind of monster? Jacob said. Like what? Jacob stroked his chin, the way people did in movies when they were thinking. The boys rounded the corner and passed Nielsen's drugstore. A faded sign in the window showed a smiling woman holding a yellow bottle of laundry detergent. Across the top, the sign said, "Spot be gone, makes stains vanish." Makes stains vanish, Jacob said and pointed. You could call your monsters the Vanishers. The Vanishers, the wind hissed. Dried leaves skittered along the sidewalk. What are Vanishers? I'm not sure yet, said Jacob. The boys turned off the main road and into their neighborhood. They walked quietly for a minute. These Vanishers are creepy, though, right? Jacob said. It was growing cold, and the boys shoved their hands into their pockets. Oh, they're plenty creepy. They're Klotman creepy. Klotman meant something so strange and weird as to be almost unreal. Just you wait. They rounded another corner and walked in silence for a few minutes. I've got it, Jacob said. I know what Vanishers do. Let me guess, Jacob said. They kill you? That's what all monsters do. They kill you. Not Vanishers, said Jacob. Vanishers are different. They aren't murderers. Not really. They don't kill you. Instead, what they do is they vanish you. The clouds grew darker and thicker still, and by now the boys' faces appeared, faint and ghostly. Vanishers wipe you out, Jacob said. They erase you, like off a chalkboard. If the Vanishers set out to get you, they just get you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You'll be walking down the street one day, and all at once, they'll zero in on you, and you'll get strange and milky like a crystal ball, and then, little by little, you'll just fade away. The first drops of rain fell. The boys paused to put their hoods up, and they cinched the strings tight around their faces. So you just disappear one day? And your parents and everyone have to wonder what happened to you? Jacob asked. Like they do when someone goes missing on TV? Jacob's voice came out soft and muffled through his hood and the wind and the rain. That's a little scary, I guess. But it's not that scary. It's mostly sad. Well, it's worse than that, said Jacob. The boys walked with their heads down, braced against the weather. They turned onto their street. Because when the Vanishers get you, you don't disappear from right now. You disappear from forever. Your birthdays, your learning to walk, everything. It's like none of it ever happened. No one remembers any of it. No one remembers you. You're vanished. You're erased from everywhere. A gust of wind bent the trees along the sidewalk. The boys' home came into view, and Jacob's mother was out front in a long black coat, dragging a brown garbage bin in front of the curb despite the wind and the rain. Can you fight the Vanishers? Jacob asked. Can you outrun them? No way! Jacob hunched his shoulders as he reached the driveway, where he'd peeled off, and Jacob would keep going for one more house. Vanishers don't even have bodies. They just exist, like everywhere at once. In the light and the air and everywhere. He waved one hand in the damp air around him. When they decide to get you, you're just gone. There's nothing you can do. His mother pulled the garbage bin into the open garage. The bin rattled and slid. She looked up, rainwater dripping down her face. Who are you talking to? She said. Jacob pointed to his side. I'm talking to... He stopped. He'd been telling a story, hadn't he? To someone? Talking about the Vanishers? The air around him felt heavy and cold, and he shivered. He turned a full circle. No one was there. He looked to the gray brick house next door. There was a name he tried to call to mind. It had something to do with the letter K. Kevin? Casey? Kyle? He shook his head. No one, I guess. I guess I was just talking to myself. Hope you enjoyed Aloud in the library today. See you for another story time real soon.